Well, that didn't work out. So now I'm going to talk about the books in a way that is understandable to humans. So the first book that I'm going to show you is Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. This is a book and author that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. I just haven't gotten around to picking it up yet. I think this is a story about a young woman who's born over and over and over again, and every time she's born, she dies, but each time she's born, she lives just a little bit longer. And I think it has something to do with fate, like maybe she is destined to change something along those lines. But I've heard nothing but great things about this book, and like I said, I've never read this author, and I've really been wanting to read this book by her in particular. I also picked up Gilead by Marilynne Robinson. This is another author that I've never read. I've heard that her prose isn't very plot driven, but that her prose is really beautiful and sort of slow moving, and that's kind of the sort of book that I'm looking for right now. I recently read The Title Zone by Sarah Moss, and I've just been sort of chasing that craving. I'm looking for slower books with not necessarily too much of a plot, just beautiful prose. So hoping this one fits the bill. I also picked up one of two science fiction fantasy books, the first of which is The Sorcerer of the Wildeeps by Kai Ashante Wilson. This is a book with a male protagonist, I think, and he is an LGBTQ character, and that's all I really needed to hear. I've heard this book is amazing, and I've been wanting to check it out. And I lied, I actually picked up 3 sci-fi fantasy books. This next one is Luna, New Moon by Ian MacDonald. This one I've, again, heard great things about, but I just don't know a lot about it. All I know is that there's a really strong female protagonist and that people have been raving about this book, so went ahead and picked it up. The third sci-fi book that I got was The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. I love Ursula K. Le Guin. She's a fantastic science fiction fantasy writer, and this book I'm not, again, sure about what it's about, but I think it's something to do with people that live on different planets and conflicts between them and trying to find a resolution between the two. I found a book that was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, Hot Milk by Deborah Levy. I found so many amazing books on BookOutlet during this sale. I mean, I can't even believe all the books that I've got that I've been really, really wanting to read. Hence the incoherent video that I filmed before this one where I was basically just squealing. So this is about a relationship between a mother and a daughter, and I think the mother is sick in some way and the daughter has become her caretaker, and I think that that has caused strain in their relationship and that there might be some other things going on. It sounds fantastic. I also found The Mare by Mary Gateskill, which is longlisted for the Bailey's Prize. The Bailey's Prize, I've never really picked out a prize and thought to myself, oh, I'm going to read all the books that have been longlisted or shortlisted for this prize. But this year, I've sort of focused on the Bailey's Prize, and I think I'm going to read most of those books. Not all of them. I'm not interested in all of them. But most of those books sound pretty good to me, so I'm going to try them out. This is one of them. The Mare is about a young woman who is sent to a farm where this couple lives. So the wife is a person that has really wanted a child for such a long time, and I think she ends up bonding with this young woman in a way that's maybe not a two-way street, something along those lines, but it seems like it's going to be a really interesting book. Also from the Bailey's Prize, but not this past year, the year before that, 2015, I believe, is A God in Every Stone by Camila Shamsi, and I think this was actually shortlisted. This one is about a young woman who goes to Turkey on an archaeological dig, and she meets someone there and falls in love, and then they're separated by the war, and then she later runs into a friend of his, and I think they both end up looking for him, and it just sounds fantastic, and I absolutely love this setting. I'm really excited to read about this setting. I also picked up The Grace Keepers by Kirsty Logan, another author I've never read before. I've been wanting to read this book forever. I was just kind of waiting to find the UK edition, cheap, but I never found it. So I can't even get it anymore, not even for full price. So I just went ahead and bought this one in a bittersweet sort of way. This one I'm pretty excited about. It's about two young women. I think they're both LGBTQ characters, and they live in a world, I think, that involves either magical realism or is straight up fantasy. I'm not really sure. And I don't really know much about it other than that, except that the sea's involved. I think one of them is the caretaker of the dead who are lost at sea, something along those lines. I also picked up another book by an author that I've never read before, and that is Hawes Water by Sarah Hall. This is a book about a person that comes into this small little town in the 1930s and wants to create a new reservoir. And I think he comes into conflict with some of the community members. This just seemed like a good candidate for the sort of story, again, that has beautiful prose but might be a little slower plot-wise, which is apparently what I am in the mood for ever since Sarah Moss. She has cursed me. Anyway, yeah, I think I heard about this one on Simon's channel, Simon from Savage Reads. Yeah, sounded pretty good. And I don't know actually if you talked about this specific one, but I think I remember him talking about this author. This next one I heard about on Sophie Carlin's channel. I believe that's her name. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with remembering names, so if I'm misremembering these channel names, please forgive me. But this is The Brides of Roll Rock Island by Margot Lanigan, and it is apparently a 2-time Michael L. Prince Honor winner. So this is about wives that come from the sea. I'm assuming it involves selkies, and it seems kind of like a dark fairy tale sort of story, and yeah. Speaking of dark books, I also found Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. And this one is about a woman named Eileen, and she ends up becoming an accomplice to some kind of crime, I think. And I think it's one of those books where you really don't like the main character, I think, if I remember correctly, somebody talking about this book. I love those kinds of books. I love feeling, you know, strong emotions, whether they're positive or negative about a character, so I'm looking forward to this one. I'm so happy I found this edition of this book. It's The Bees by Laylene Paul, another one that I've been wanting to read for quite a while. This is like raised here, it's textured, and it also has French flaps again. This is about a colony of bees, and I think it's about one bee in particular who starts rebelling against the system. And, you know, maybe there are some Animal Farm vibes in here, I'm not really sure. My little one is right behind me right now. Looking forward to reading this one. And so last but not least, I think the best way to, you know, capture that Sarah Moss writing feeling is to buy another book by Sarah Moss. So this one is not part of the book outlet haul, but I ordered this separately online. Night Waking. It's about a woman, and I think it's about motherhood and possibly a skeleton of a baby that she finds in her backyard, something along those lines. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be reading this one first.
Happy New Year's Day.
It's got a horse on it. Do you think it's about a horse?
Yeah, I think it's about. Yeah, this is what a girl riding it.
The girl's riding it, isn't she? Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what you thought about them. And I'll see you next time. You say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.